not scared of it.
It's a baby one.
See it?
You can go on the thing. Come on.
You cannot go there yet.
No, right here.
Who's driving the boat?
Do you see it? Oh my gosh,
yes,
that's
I
scary.
see it.
You're so scary.
Who's driving the boat?
I don't know, Captain.
I see it.
You see it?
There's an alligator. Mama, right there.
I know. Oh my gosh. That's scary.
No, when you see
Okay, fine.
Come here.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh.
Say hi.
Hi, Riley.
Riley, Sean.
Move over there. I can see the front.
Alright folks, good afternoon. My name is Captain Ron. How many of y'all seen the movie Captain Ron with Kirby? West we go. Now I grew up in a little town west of here called Avondale. Avondale didn't have any schools. Had to go to school here in West we go, and a lot has changed since then. Captain Ron lost his here. Folks,
So we're on a swamp tour. These are the houses near the swamp. As you can see, they're very small and old.
Her nest to go hunt for food. All the other animals that live in the swamp will steal her eggs, starting with the raccoons, the skunks, and the otters, and all the birds and chicken you find on this hook. Alligators do not have taste buds, but they have a good sense of smell. So what you want to do, folks, you want to take that clothespin, you want to hang this bait at least 4 foot above the water. That prevents an alligator that's under 4 foot from grabbing that bait. Alligator jumps out of I'm still seeing at least 3 females, and I know they're all females because they come right up to Winky, and they're not scared of them.
It's coming to your side.
Oh, got it.
So folks, I was working here 2 weeks before I saw Winky for the first time. I was all the way in the back. I was fixing to turn around and head out, and all of a sudden somebody saw some bubbles. They said, "What is that?" I said, "Because always biting power is biting power." But folks, you better have 3 people holding his tail out, because that tail was one power.
Marshmallow. Alligator. And get it shot.
It's small, huh?
He's the baby one, like you, Liam. Ask him if he wants shoes.
You want shoes? I stacked
You know, you
my
see
food.
an alligator? So you never want to go out there by yourself. Always always take at least one person with you, because if somebody falls through, the other person would know where to find the body later on. So folks, if that's the marsh, the area we're going into now is the swamp. And folks, one of the most beautiful trees we have in the swamps here in Louisiana is called the bald cypress. They're called bald cypress because most cypress trees are evergreens. But the bald cypress does lose its leaves. Most trees get their oxygen from their leaves, but the bald cypress does not. Folks, when we get in there, you're going to see a bunch of little stumps coming out of the water, look like little gnomes. That is the root system of the cypress tree. Ancient people figured out that if you strip that brown part off that stalk and pound it into a flour, you can make pancakes with that. So it's another plant that you can use to eat with out here, folks. Now, folks, getting back to the bald cypress. Bald cypress.
Sure.
There's one sleeping over there. See it straight? You see it?
Oh, wow, that's far back.
It's a big owl.
Oh, yeah.
It's big, Liam.
Trees out here to harvest, and then went after the sunken trees. But when I was about 5 years old, my mom was having my younger sister. My older sister and I, we would get shipped off to southwest Louisiana, stay with my uncle and my grandmother. My uncle was a scuba diver. Folks, see this brown water right here? You go down 6 or 8 feet of this brown water, it's pitch black at the bottom. You can't see anything. What he would do, folks, he's swimming along the bottom. When he bumped into a tree, he'd mark it with a buoy. He'd come back. So imitate the Spanish. What they would do is grab this great plant, the tree, put it around their face and dance around the campfire. Back then it was either translated to Spanish beard or Spanish mask. Eventually started calling it Spanish moss. It was actually an air-breathing plant related to the pineapple. During the springtime, it produces a little red flower that produces seed. The seed gets blown away, and that's how it propagates tree to tree. Folks, there's a huge industry here in Louisiana. People used to come out and harvest this plant. It's a very dangerous job. They used to come out here in small wooden boats. The wooden boat would have a platform, a ladder above the middle of it. Folks, you know what's about boats, the higher you get above the water, or you get all the way to one side, you can flip the boat over.
Let me see that.
Folks, you stand on top of the platform, a long pole with a hook on it, yank the moss right out of the trees. There's something else amongst these trees, and one's called the water moccasin. Folks, if that snake falls in the boat with you, you can have to kill that snake and go swim with the
Oh,
alligator.
there's another one
Folks,
coming.
it's safer to swim with an alligator than that's with a water moccasin. So once they gathered up the moss, the next thing they do, they have to drown in the water. There's a lot of bugs and spiders living in the plant. So they put it in the water that kills the plant. Everything you see that teeth burns today. You open up the cushions, what you're going to find on the inside is a Spanish moss plant. The root, they're going to cover themselves in Spanish moss, and the next day they'll be itching like crazy with all the bugs and spiders. There were some raccoons living out here, folks, and but all of a sudden the last one disappeared about 2 months ago. I've not seen him since. Folks, he loved marshmallows so much he would have just left them up with the people. They know my schedule too, folks. Here's a little, isn't it cute? Precious. You don't like marshmallows. They just don't see it.
How big is this? How old is this one up there?
I can't see right here. I take a seat, folks, because there are some sunken trees or logs on where I have to turn into. Now, folks, you'll be able to tell this is man-made because how straight it is. Remember, nature doesn't make anything straight, but even though it's man-made, I think it's one of the prettiest areas in the whole swamp, in my opinion.
Oh, this one. Oh, I thought we were going right.
right, folks, if you want to go up to the front and take a picture, you're welcome to. You'll be able to see the bottom up there. That water that was dug by hand over 150 years ago, so the oxen could walk on the bottom and drag the trees out to deeper water with a boat can take over from there. So if there's any place in the swamp that you may find an alligator that's only a couple months old, 1 year old, 2 years old, is in that water in front of us. Because if you're a baby alligator and you want to grow up to be a bigger alligator, you need to find shallow water. Because big alligators and the big fish that normally eat a baby alligator do not like to go in shallow water. And every now and then, I'll pull up to this spot and we'll see a little 1 year old or a 2 year old. One day I was sitting right here, and on a log, I thought it was a two-headed alligator. There was a 1 year old and a 2 year old sitting so close together, I thought it was a two-headed alligator. Now, folks, if you look in the waterway, you see two plants floating in the water. The larger plant that's above the surface is the parts that below the surface. The root system of that plant can be over 1.5 feet long, and that plant floats. And when the wind blows in one direction for days and days and days at a time, it'll blow so much plant in one area, it'll actually clog up a waterway. Last summer, in this swamp, can live twice that long, and that's called the alligator snapping turtle. Oh, that turtle can live to be over 200 years old. At 200 years old, they will weigh over 300 pounds. And folks, that is the turtle we use to make turtle soup. So if you see turtle soup in our restaurants, it's not made from that little bitty turtle, it's made from a large turtle, folks. So don't feel bad about eating turtle soup. But it's a nocturnal animal also called the nutrients. The nutrients brought here in the 1930s by a family called the McRae. That name may sound familiar to you folks if you picked up a bottle of Tabasco sauce in one of our restaurants. They started the Tabasco sauce company, but they were also in the fur trapping business. They used to trap muskrat. They found these nutrients in South America much more superior fur. So they brought 12 of them in Louisiana, they put them in cages. They were going to raise them in the cages. Early in the summer, they have a mullet tossing contest at the Floribama Bar, very famous bar. So who could throw the mullet the furthest?